Hi everyone, my name is Roca and I'm a senior lecturer in the Department of Psychology and Pedagogical Science at St Mary's University, London. In my presentation, I'm going to share with you some of the research that I've been doing on sporting creativity, looking at the developmental activities that contribute to creative decision making in skilled soccer players. So first of all, it's important to define creativity or tactical creativity, which is the ability of a player to produce relatively novel solutions in game situations that are both original or statistically rare and surprising, and at the same time they are useful and adequate for that situation. The ability to produce these creative decisions during match play has been highlighted in the literature as being one of the key attributes of team sports players. Yet, very few researchers have studied how this type of creative behavior is actually acquired and developed in the sporting domain. So in this study, we try to address this shortcoming in the literature by assessing the link between sport-specific creative decision-making and prior engagement in developmental activities in skilled adult soccer players. In these experiments, skilled soccer players were required to interact with a representative life-sized video-based simulation of attacking situations whilst in possession of the ball. The clips were occluded at a key moment in the action, and the players were required to play the ball in response to each situation presented to them. Additionally, they were required to name other additional actions they could execute for each situation. Creative performance on the task was measured using the three criteria of originality, flexibility, and fluency of decisions, and players were then classified as either high or low creative decision makers based on their performance on the representative task. We then used retrospective recall questionnaires to collect participation history data on their engagement in soccer, which included competition such as league games, deliberate practice such as practice with team, and play such as kick around with friends. We also collected data for engagement in other sport developmental activities. In this slide, we have the results for soccer activity. So in these two graphs, we have the mean hours per year spent in each of the three soccer activities, so delivered practice, play, and competition, as a function of age group. In graph A is for the high creative players, and in graph B is the low creative group. The results showed us that the high creative group spent significantly more average hours per year in free and structured soccer specific play activity during this childhood and early adolescence period, as I have highlighted now in the graph. So between 6 and 15 years of age when compared with the low creative players. No differences were reported for hours per year in soccer-specific formal practice or delivered practice, as well as competition between the two groups across the development periods. We also didn't find significant differences between the two groups for engagement in other sports during the two development periods. However, the high creative group participated in a mean number of 3 other sports during childhood, so between 6 and 12 years of age, when compared with 2 other sports for the low creative group. So this difference achieved a medium effect size. In line with our hypothesis, our findings suggest that informal, unorganized free play in the primary sport, so in this case in soccer, is positively associated with and necessary for the development of superior levels of creativity in soccer players. The higher amount of soccer activity compared to other sports during childhood in the practice history profiles of the players supports the early engagement hypothesis that was proposed by Ford and colleagues. According to this hypothesis, players spend a meaningful amount of time in their primary sport during childhood, particularly in soccer through free play. Finally, it is thought that such playful, non-linear environments found in sport-specific play activity provide children with the freedom to problem solve, greater opportunities to be creative and experiment with new movements and different technical and tactical skills within their sport. And we believe that this offers youngsters the chance to improvise, innovate, and be adaptable, recreating those conditions that are crucial for the development of creativity in sport. Thanks so much for listening, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. My email address is on the slide here if you'd like to contact me later.